I think another key learning is the need for a really well considered plan as to how the project or program is going to be delivered. And I suppose in that, generally these major projects, I think are programs as opposed to projects, in that they're a series of projects that run concurrently, ultimately delivering towards one common objective. You know, like anything, I suppose if you're going on a journey, you need a roadmap, you need a plan as to how you're going to execute that. And for me, I am having an integrated plan, something that's well considered and coordinated across the various stakeholders, is really essential to the success of the project. That essentially is developed through like an interactive planning session or workshop, or a series of workshops where all the stakeholders come together, the people involved in each of the projects across the programme, to develop, I suppose, that coherent plan and to talk out the logic as to how it needs to get executed. That logic will include what we might call give-gets. So, you know, for an architect to come up with a concept, the architect needs to get a brief from the client. You know? So across the life of the project and the logic, there's a series of gives and gets, but these sessions are I suppose, need to kind of map out, I suppose, essentially all those give-gets across the life of the project, but ultimately to come and land at a plan that's been very well considered. I think in that equally it's important to know the difference between a plan and a schedule. You know, the schedule is something that's derived from the plan, but the first thing is that there's a clear plan as to how we will deliver the overall objective for the project, and tying in, I suppose, the various projects, be those the various work streams of utilities, the main building itself, the legal work streams or contracts that might be put in place. But each of these work streams, I suppose, all being coordinated ultimately into one single plan, which ultimately we would call is a single version, I suppose, of the truth as to how the project is going to be delivered. And with that plan, then we can start to resource it, we can start to measure performance and be clear about the next steps across the life of the project. So it's really working through that with the team then, but having that basis of a plan and something to measure from, I think is something that's really critical. And too often we take off on projects without really having considered what the plan is. We know what we want to do, but we haven't really thought about the plan as to how we make it happen. So that's something that's really important. And I think from that, typically we kind of identify key performance indicators. So they're essentially, you know, we lift off that plan some big events that should happen at a certain point in time across the life, and if they don't happen at that point in time, it means that something's off track. So we use those key performance indicators, or KPIs, so we call them, to kind of ultimately stand back and measure if we're delivering on the plan that we set for ourselves.